Over the next two videos, Janet is going to help us determine the sun and soil conditions in your yard in the location that you'd like to plant your new tree. This is a very important step because it will ensure that your tree is going to thrive for years to come.
It is really important. It's essential to look at what kind of soil you have and how much sun, because each tree has different requirements. So in nature, certain trees grow in certain soil types.
Right.
And if you select a tree that's not appropriate for your soil, you're probably going to be fighting a losing battle.
When you fill out the survey at the end of these lessons, one of LEAF's arborists will review your sun and soil conditions and send you a customized recommendation as to what trees are going to do well in your yard. If you're unsure of your conditions, we'll recommend a hardier species that's going to do well just about anywhere. Now let's get dirty.
Okay, so generally there are three types of soil.
Okay.
Sandy soil, clay soil, and loamy.
Okay.
So sandy is just what it sounds like, quite sandy, drains quite well. Clay is usually much harder and sticks together in clumps. And loamy is a mixture of the two, and often what we think of as good soil. Nice, usually dark, crumbly, and with quite a bit of organic matter in it.
Now before we start to do a dig test to figure out what our soil conditions are there any indicators that we can use to generally tell perhaps what type of soil we might find underneath?
Yeah, I mean, looking around the neighborhood is a really good way to get an idea of what your soil might be like. For example, what other trees are growing on the street? Do you have nice big mature oak trees?
Right.
Do you have trees that look a little more stunted, a little less healthy? That can give you a clue. Also, if you live in a new development area, usually the soil is quite poor. Standing water like that, chances are you've got quite a heavy clay soil. And so that's really important to know when you're choosing the tree that you plant, because very few trees can withstand that.
Sounds like we're ready to dig in and find out what kind of soil we have in this yard.
So this is crumbling away. We've probably got a fairly good sand content here because it's quite loose.
Right.
If it were heavy clay, it would be sticking together in one mass.
Okay.
So fairly high sand content, and as you can see when you dig underneath here, you get below the sod, it's quite sandy. Now, the difference between this and complete sand is you can see it's got darker color to it, so there is fairly good organic matter content in here.
I'm now ready to fill in that I have sandy soil on the worksheet I started in the previous video. After I finish that, I'm going to click on the next video and learn how to assess my sun conditions in this yard.